Nestled in the northeast side of Tucson is Agua Caliente Park.
It's located on the east side of Tucson, near Soldier Trail and Tanque Verde.
Covering roughly 100 acres, this oasis features a natural spring which feeds the main pond.
And we all know that water is a very important resource here in the Southwest because there aren't a lot of water sources. And the fact that there's this unique spring located right here at this site has drawn people to this area for throughout history, including Native Americans, and then we had some individuals who came here to homestead in the mid-1800s. And then also wildlife are attracted to this area because of the water resource. Anything from the turtles and fish that live here on site to other larger mammals and birds that come to this area.
We met Environmental Education Manager Carol Tepper on the trail as she tells a tour group about the original habitat type found here.
The pond here is not the original habitat. The original habitat was a sheet of water coming out from the spring and forming a marsh. Sort of what in the Spanish word, it's a cienega. So it was a wetland here, very native, rare kind of habitat that we used to have all around Tucson, little patches of cienegas and marshes, but they've mostly been destroyed over time.
Family picnics are a favorite activity, as are photography, painting, and of course bird watching.
Agua Caliente Park is one of the designated wildlife viewing areas in Arizona, and it's an important area for wildlife. People also like to come to this park, generally to picnic, but also we hold environmental education programs here.
Now we're going to talk about some other animal life. We'll focus on the birds a little bit as we go along the edge here,
where they can come and learn about the wildlife and about the history of the park.
Just about every type of waterfowl that visits or inhabits southern Arizona can be found there at one time or another.
So notice these little black and white ducks with the yellow eyes? Those are called the ringneck duck, but you don't really see the ring around the neck very well unless you've got them in hand. It's kind of a light purple ring. I think they should be called a ring-billed duck because they have that white ring around their bill. They're a diving duck, and that's why they're not up here, you know, on the ground looking for food, foraging for food, because they don't fly very well. They're kind of heavy-bodied, and they dive down all the way under the water to eat whatever food they can find on the bottom of the pond, as opposed to these ducks, which are dabbling ducks. They just dabble, they tip over, but they don't usually go all the way under. So two different ways of feeding. But the little ringneck ducks sure are cute. These, of course, are mallards. These, the green-headed males with the yellow bills, those are very brightly colored and kind of iridescent. And then the females are kind of a dull brown. And that's, of course, so that they can be camouflaged when they're nesting on the ground, because a lot of ducks nest on the ground, so they don't want to be seen by predators. So being a plain mottled brown like that is good. So that's what we call dimorphic, when the male and female have very different forms, and so ducks are very dimorphic. The male and female hardly look alike at all, but they do sort of have the same sort of shape. So we've got mostly mallards here. Oh, there's also one with the white stripe on his head, that little guy. He's swimming away from us now. He's a little smaller than the mallards. That's a widgeon, the American widgeon, and we'll talk more about the widgeons and other ducks a little bit later.
There's even a resident pintail duck with an identity crisis.
He sort of thinks he's a mallard and hangs out with them, and he comes every year. They have a little bit more of a long, graceful neck than the other ducks do. Very beautiful duck.
Many terrestrial birds are found in the park, including Gila woodpeckers, cactus wrens, curve-billed thrashers, doves, and owls. Due to the diversity of the park's vegetation and its water, many different animal species claim the park as their year-round home. And of course, many more animals choose Agua Caliente as their winter home.
The native amphibian we have is the spadefoot, which is kind of like a toad, but not exactly a toad. During the dry times, they burrow under the ground and surround themselves with a coating of, I think it's saliva or some kind of sticky wet stuff that keeps their moisture in, and then they wait until the rain comes, and then they come out and breed. There's also red spotted toads here, and I think those are the main amphibians. We also have reptiles like the slider, which I think Sandy's going to put them in the scope, or maybe already has. If anybody'd like to see the sliders, they are right there on the shore. They're a non-native turtle, but they're quite extensive throughout this park and throughout the world, actually. These are the most popular pet turtles around the world, and so people all over the world have released their pets, and so they've become widespread released into the wild. And they do get quite big. Here's another turtle that we sometimes see around here, the spiny-nosed softshell turtle. It does have a big, flat, soft shell that is kind of leathery, and it's a carnivorous turtle. It'll prey on little baby ducks and other things like that. And then we have native turtles, the Sonoran Mud Turtle. So I believe that's also a rare or species of concern. Those are protected. So those are some of the reptiles and amphibians that we have here at the park as well.
Some of the park's mammals include gray fox, skunks, bobcats, ringtails, raccoons, javelina, mule deer, desert cottontail, and even an occasional mountain lion. Next time you're in Tucson, drop in at Agua Caliente Park and enjoy the wildlife found there.